Good morning, Algonquin. That's what I'm going to say, or at least try to say it. Anyways, you know what today is. You already know because I've kind of already spilled the beans. Anyways, I've got about a 3-hour drive to Algonquin. It's kind of rainy, or at least it's going to be rainy. But I believe today is the only day that'll rain, and then it should be pretty good. Much cooler, mind you. Probably only of a high of in the teens. That's Celsius, by the way. So that probably equates to around 50, high of 55, 60 maybe. So, I mean, nice, comfortable weather. Nothing too cold. This hike this week is going to absolutely be about the hiking. I'll try to get some views in there, yes, of course, as always, but I'm really going to focus on the hike. I have never done this before. This is something new for me. So what I would like to do is focus on the process of the hike. And what that means is I'm going to show you everything, like I'm packing my pack, how I cold soak, when I cold soak, setting up my gear, where I position my tent. Even though it won't rain, I'm going to describe how I pick my spot for my tent based on the possibility of, say, rain or inclement weather. I would like to speak about that a little more, about the actual process of hiking during the day, how I'm feeling during the day, how I'm planning my day, when and if I eat during the day. As you know, I'm not a big eater. Mostly because I'm clinically depressed, and I would be the size of a house if I ate any more than once a day or twice a day. But anyway, that's regardless of that. I'll also talk about gear, how I'm layering up at night, how I'm setting up my gear, like my tent, stuff like that. I think that's something that we've never really touched on, we've never really discussed. So I would really like to at least do one hike where that's the focus. Anyway, let's go get it. Got about a 3-hour drive. It's a little late in the morning. It's already like 8 o'clock and I'm not ready. I got to pack my pack, so I'm going to probably not have more than about 2 or 3 hours of hiking. So let's just get on trail. Let's just get to a campsite, and then for the rest of the week we can focus more on enjoying our time out there. Let's start off by explaining that I'm going to be using, I've decided to bump it up a little. It's going to be much heavier, actually, probably a pound heavier. But I'm going to bring two 20,000 milliamp battery blocks, 2 Nitecore 20s instead of a Nitecore 20 and a Nitecore 10, which is what I had originally planned to do, but I just have a feeling I'm going to be using a little more power. I'll bring all 3, but I'm going to decide at the last second what to do about that. So I'm just packing up my electronics gear. I've decided also this hike that I'm going to bring the wireless system for microphone. You all have been saying that the sound hasn't been the best, and I'm listening. I'm trying to be a little more responsive in that regard. It is more battery power though. That's the problem. This is a battery bank as well as my two transmitters. This is an all-in-one package. And again, it's kind of, this is about half a pound, which generally I don't like to use. I like to use this here because this has no battery at all. It just works off the camera battery. This thing's been beaten up. It's gone through 2 falls and it's still working. It's not the best quality as far as compared to these, but at least, we're gonna have a better product. Always take the middle little cardboard piece out of the toilet paper. Every little gram counts. Okay, well, we're here. It's wet as all can be, but you know what? It stopped raining for now. It really rained a lot coming in here though, so let's do this. Let's get everything going here and get on the trail. We've only got a couple hours. So I just pour this in to my jar. May as well leave the garbage here in the vehicle. No point taking it with us. And then just putting enough water just to cover. And put a little extra because it's not soaking in. Swish that around a bit. This will expand somewhat. And then you just put your lid on and just shake it up. Make sure everything here is moist. It might be a little liquidy. The general rule of thumb, oh, that's thickening up pretty quick already. The general rule of thumb is that you put a little less water and you can always add a little more later, right? So typically in the morning, I would take out my food for the day, put it in the bottom pouch. That's one thing I really love about this setup here. We need more snacks. And that is put the food for the day in the bottom pouch so I don't have to go ripping into the pack like I am now and taking everything out, taking everything apart. I can just take it out of the bottom pouch and then that's it. So this now is actually needing more water. It's almost already done. A little more water. Shake it up a bit. And that's it. Leave it. Let it do its thing. I'm going to put this all back in. I had bought extra salami anyway, so I was going to undo my food bag anyways. So put this in. This is a week's worth of food, by the way. This is a lock sack, op sack. And what it does is it's an airtight bag for this. Oops. Put this back in and take all my extra Ziplocs that I bring. I have 3 bags, large ones that are garbage, because you got to pack out your garbage. Somebody's coming in here. And the other small ones are for what I'm going to show you later on, which is you can cold soak right in Ziploc bags. You don't need to have a container if you don't want. So now I'm going to close this all up and get ready, and we're going to take off. I'm just going to put this in the back of my pack and carry it. And when I get to camp, dinner will be waiting, ready and waiting. Okay, we're off. Did a final check in the vehicle, got it underneath that tree so the sun will protect it. Or sorry, the tree will protect it from the sun. This pack feels really heavy right now, which is understandable. The old familiar bridge, groceries crossing. Oh yeah, new shoes goofing. Woohoo! Ooh, this is slippery. This pressure treated wood can be really slippery. As I suspected, the trail is very wet. Groceries crossing. Okay, let's figure this out here, shall we? I see something shiny over there. It's got to be the lake. Wow. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Okay. I'm gonna grab some water here. We're near the campsite, so it's a good time to camel up. Wow, that just came in out of nowhere. Flash flood practically. Wow, that was crazy. Within 2 seconds, flash storm, boom, just like that. I mean, I could not run over to my camera fast enough to get to it. Okay, we have one spot here. This is now, I guess, designated as the emergency site. This used to be my favorite site, but it looks pretty wet. And I usually pitch my tent right here, but as you can see, it's not draining really well. So if I was to stay here, I would want to be over here on high ground where I can stay fairly dry. Or way over here, let's have a look. This site has changed a little bit. It's been so overrun, it was so popular over the years that, ooh, this isn't bad right here. It's been so popular over the years because obviously, I mean, look at the view. It's crazy. But it's been so popular that people have been just overrunning it. I guess they want it to bounce back. Right here's a nice, fairly dry spot, except there's roots there. And then up over here is high. See, so I'm just trying to talk about this because I'm trying to show you what my thought is, what my train of thought is when I'm camping, when I'm trying to select a spot. And in the rain especially, it's an issue. This is an issue, of course. Definitely, we want to have fun. We want to be comfortable. This is my favorite spot. And it's not terribly wet, but it is wet. This is Guskawa Lake. We've been here before. We've been to this exact spot before. In fact, I flew my drone here last year while I was doing a 6-day loop. That was a big loop, man. I tell you, 100 miles, 6 days. That was a good, very good. My gear's getting wet. My camera's wet. I hope it doesn't wet out. That would be disastrous. Gorgeous. Look at the sun's trying to peek through over there. This is a little pump that I'm using. I've got set up. I took that spot I told you I would on high ground, so that even if the rain does come back again, which it probably will, we're going to drain really well. So I use the pump because I don't want my moisture, my breath, going inside this pad. What happens is it's so dark inside that pad that mold starts forming. The pad gets heavier and heavier because even though you don't think you're spitting into this pad, you have vapor that comes off of your breath. So it builds up, mold starts developing inside the pad. It's not a good thing all around. The pad starts breaking down, the thermal qualities are diminished. The pad's heavy as hell in your pack. Like, I've seen it go 2-3 times the weight. So these are things we're going to talk about this week. Definitely, this is part of this week's hike. I brought the 20-degree quilt. I broke down and brought the extra comfy pillow. I figured it was worth the extra 8 grams. Yeah, what the hell. 8 grams. For me to be happy. It's all good. And look at this, the brown that's coming off my tent because of all the sap down south that was falling. Like when I was on the PCT, the tent got covered in sap. Yeah. Anyways, I set the tent up a little higher. I'm making sure everything's fine for the rain. These here, that's why these come up, so that the screen goes lower down there, so that when the water runs down the side here, it doesn't come into the tent, it just falls off the edge. I've been coming here for as long as I can remember. I've been coming to this place, to Algonquin. Algonquin Park is the size of, or bigger than most European countries. The whole country. Algonquin Park is about the size of Germany. And I remember my parents, before they passed, told me that they were bringing me out here when I was 4 months old for weekend hikes. Sometimes just camping, but mostly hiking. Yeah. Okay, so this is my final setup. As you can see, we're up on the hill. You look down there, that's where I wanted to camp. That's my favorite spot down there. But they've now turned this into an emergency site only down there. I don't know why that is, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. And you come up the hill here, and my tent's up at the top of the hill. Nicely set up, waiting for more rain. But I do have very fond memories here. When I was married, first married, between Niagara Falls and Algonquin Park was our honeymoon. And the first night of our honeymoon, we camped right here. We hiked right here. And I'll show you exactly where we were, where I showed you earlier. We did the whole loop. We took 10 days to do it. And this is where the tent was, snuggled right in here with this view, this gorgeous view. So I'm going to call this a day, guys. I'm going to call it a night. It's kind of a miserable day. Got wet, and I lost a bottle cap. Same as when I was on trail, I lost a bottle cap. Luckily, I had a friend, another hiker, who gave me a spare that they had, and I learned from that. And I've been keeping a spare in my ditty bag the entire time now, since then. Well, today was that day. I went to Camel Up on Water, and I went to grab my bottle and took the cap off, and the cap slipped and fell into the water and rolled down the stream and floated away. So good thing I had a spare. Thanks for coming along. If you're still watching, you rock. This is Algonquin. I love this place. This is my happy place for sure. And I'm happy that you came along. very happy that you joined me today.